Day 2 of the western border sick out by immigration officers yesterday. 8 of them called in sick. Today, it was 10. We'll tell you how the immigration department is struggling to keep the Benque border open. And the Belize Bus Association made its demands public at a press conference today. Members say they can't continue to operate at a loss due to crushing diesel prices. Plus, first, it was the retired BTL employees who were demanding their severance. Tonight, the retired BEL employees have joined them. They say the electric company has to pay up what it deprived them of. Also, City Hall is showcasing its free Holy Week concert, but with a budget of almost $250,000, should public funds be used for a Christian concert? We asked the mayor today. We've got details of these and other stories in our newscast for tonight, Tuesday, March 31st, 2026. Good evening. With your news, I'm Indra Craig.
This newscast is brought to you by Cellular World, your authorized Samsung distributor.
The Feinsteins built the tourism village, brought cruise tourism to Belize, helped build this industry from the ground up, and created thousands of jobs. And when Belize needed a deep water cruise port, the Feinsteins went on to develop Stake Bank Island, a Belizean family investing in Belize and building for Belizeans. But instead of supporting Belizeans, this government chose to undermine the project.
The government has colluded with a bank to seize from a private owner.
No, the state is stealing his land.
There was some collusion going on, that there was some inappropriate activity even in the judicial process, and that there were players involved who have strong political capital because they're either currently serving in office, formerly served at really high levels of office, who are deeply involved with this.
They said it was for a public purpose.
But they're acquiring it for a private company.
So this government took away the Feinsteins' land, took away their project, gave it to a private company. And now this same government is building another cruise port at the port of Belize. So what was the public purpose of taking Stake Bank? And now the Foreign Affairs Minister is upset that America is paying attention. No, Francis. This is on the PUP. It's no longer just local politics. Washington is watching. It's not going unnoticed.
And could lead to sanctions, right? OFAC sanctions, which would be devastating.
En Atlantic Bank, tu comodidad es nuestra prioridad. Nuestro centro de contacto está diseñado para mejorar tu experiencia bancaria. Con una amplia gama de opciones de servicio al cliente, ahorras tiempo y esfuerzo. Puedes llamar fácilmente para bloquear o desbloquear tus tarjetas de débito y crédito, realizar consultas de cuentas y acceder a información detallada de tus tarjetas. Ya sea que necesites asistencia con la banca en línea, apoyo para comercios o consultas generales, nuestro equipo está listo para ayudarte. Para mayor comodidad, si todos los operadores están ocupados, puedes dejar tu número y un operador te devolverá la llamada lo antes posible para asegurarse de que recibas el apoyo que necesitas. Para mayor seguridad, es posible que necesitemos verificar tu identidad con un conjunto de preguntas sencillas. Recuerda, Atlantic Bank nunca solicitará tu nombre de tu usuario ni contraseña de Atlantic Online por llamada telefónica, mensaje de texto o correo electrónico, asegurando que tu información personal permanezca segura y protegida. Nuestro equipo de apoyo está disponible de lunes a viernes, de 8 a.m. a 6 p.m., en inglés y en español. Simplemente marca al 223-1212. Esta es la línea dedicada para nuestro centro de contacto. Atlantic Bank se compromete a brindarte un servicio excepcional y las herramientas que necesitas para administrar tus finanzas de manera conveniente y segura. Aprovecha al máximo nuestro servicio del centro de contacto.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
I'm very happy knowing I have a new home. Me and my kids have where to live. I've been renting with me and my kids. Me and the two kids live alone, and it's not been easy for me moving from one house to our next house, trying to make the kids feel comfortable because, rent is not cheap. So we have to be moving. Sometimes the landowners there don't like this, they don't like that, so we have to move out. And so it has not been easy for me and them. They have been very happy. They come with me on the Sundays and we try to, clean a little bit. And the little one, she's excited. She wants to live in Bullet Tree. From the project started, Mom, when are we going to live in Bullet Tree? I tell her, soon.
I always say this is one of the pivotal projects that this government is involved with. And I know the personal struggles of this particular family. I know what they've been through, and I know what this house represents to them. We're giving them a house, but for them it's an opportunity. For them it's a home where these girls can rest at night in peace, This house is going to open so many doors for them, and it changes lives, it transforms lives, And so I'm really happy to be a part of this, and I hope that for the rest of the time that I'm an area representative, we can continue to deliver homes to needy families like this one.
We are in an area that we had to improve the infrastructure, which is quite our experience. Infrastructure does play a big part in what we have to do. It improves the lives of many other people, not just our recipients.
Thanks to Heavenly Father that He gave us this opportunity, and to Honorable Misha Shabbat, and to housing, and everybody who put a helping hand in this to make this house possible. I'm very grateful.
Now, one thing I know do, I know lie, I know liar. Let's take a look at $80,000. And yes, I hear the son here, they pay a monthly payment of $100 towards it, stuff like that. And if you divide that by 100, 80,000, you get 800 months. Divide that by 12 months, and it will take a person 66 years to pay for a one-bedroom house.
This is why I said when you're going to represent the people of Belize, the least you could do is do some homework. So that is a complete lie again. The project is a project that the government subsidizes quite a portion of it. The only thing that the recipient is responsible for is $12,000 of that. That is paid at $100 a month for 10 years. The government subsidizes all the infrastructure, all the culverts that go in to let them be able to access their home, all the landscaping that is done, all the extra works that need to get done for the home to be a home. Our recipients will own their home at the bargain price of $12,000. As a single mom, I wish this program existed when I needed a home.
This is unconscionable. This is ridiculous. This is not a program for the poor people.
My fight is for them to see what their people are going through. Not to spout the words, to see, to feel, to understand. For them to sit and be taking pictures and smiling and laughing and saying they care about the people, that's easy to do. When you come in and you do the hard work daily for the people, that's what we do at MIDH. We ensure that our people know that we love them, we care about them, and we're doing our best. Our recipients have formed a relationship with MIDH. They know that they can pick up the phone and they can call us, and we are going to try to address the problems that they have. Yes, we have not gotten to everybody, but we are doing our best. We're trying. So my advice to the area rep for Albert and for myself is get back on the ground and know your people.
Oh, for true? Why? Hallelujah!
The Feinsteins built the tourism village, brought cruise tourism to Belize, helped build this industry from the ground up, and created thousands of jobs. And when Belize needed a deep water cruise port, The Feinsteins went on to develop Stake Bank Island, a Belizean family investing in Belize and building for Belizeans. But instead of supporting Belizeans, this government chose to undermine the project.
The government has colluded with a bank to seize from a private owner.
No, the state is stealing his land.
There was some collusion going on, that there was some inappropriate activity even in the judicial process, and that there were players involved who have strong political capital because they're either currently serving in office, formerly served at really high levels of office, who are deeply involved with this.
They said it was for a public purpose.
But they're acquiring it for a private company.
So this government took away the Feinsteins' land, took away their project, gave it to a private company. And now this same government is building another cruise port at the port of Belize. So what was the public purpose of taking Stake Bank? And now the Foreign Affairs Minister is upset that America is paying attention. No, Francis. This is on the PUP. It's no longer just local politics. Washington is watching. It's not going unnoticed.
And could lead to sanctions, right? OFAC sanctions, which would be devastating.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
Belize Western Border Station is operating at less than 100% tonight because of the second day in a row. Disgruntled immigration officers have staged a sick out. Yesterday it was 8. Today it was 10 officers out. Reports tell us that they are disgruntled and dissatisfied with their current port commander. But the CEO of the ministry, Tanya Santos, says that neither she nor the Director of Immigration have received any formal or informal complaint or grievance. So now they are struggling to move staff around to keep the western border moving along. But out there has been a challenge. We spoke to her an hour ago via Zoom.
Yes, it does appear to be a coordinated sick out, and we are actually looking and investigating to see if it is indeed so. At the point that I am today, the position I stand today is that I am unaware of any complaint, of any grievance of these officers for them to attempt to do a sick out, industrial action such as a sick out.
No, I have received reports that in fact it is an act of protest. It is staged in protest of the port commander, who they feel has an authoritarian management style.
I have heard that from the media, actually. So you're getting the same information as I am getting, Jules, because like I said, internally, to my desk, I have not received any such information from these officers at the western border. As a matter of fact, as far as I'm aware, the director has been there several times, and for this level of action to be taken, if it is that it is a coordinated action, we have not been briefed of any serious matter there to that level. Thankfully, reports are that the movement of people is reduced. I'm verifying this information with our database, our MIDAS database, to see if indeed the number of travelers has decreased. And we believe so primarily because of the security issues up in Mexico. So we don't see the same amount of people passing through as in past years this time of year. It's been manageable. If it continues this way, we should be able again to manage that. But we have taken steps, bringing in officers who are off duty, reaching out to other officers from other stations who won't have the same level of travelers at their ports, or maybe none at all, and getting the support going. I can't speak with them now because they're all sick. I have to wait until they get off their sick leave and they're all present and at the office, at the port, to call in everybody, including the port commander, meet with them and find out, get to the bottom of what's happening here.
Santos told us yesterday that this holding the port hostage is a pattern of behavior with certain officers at various ports, and she said, we cannot keep going through this. That's why she says the department is exploring the option of training police officers to take over the border posts when they are abandoned by officers. She said she plans to meet with the officers who called in sick to see what their grievance is, and that is when they get off their sick leave. If you're contemplating parking your vehicle and catching a bus because it's cheaper, it might not be that way for much longer. And that's because the Belize Bus Association is asking the government to increase fares. Well, that's one of three options that they are requesting from GOB due to the increase of the cost of diesel. These independent bus owners say they're on the edge of no longer being able to operate, and they believe that they deserve the same perks that the National Bus Company receives. The BBA held a press conference today to plead its case, and Courtney Menzies was there and has a story.
With diesel at $14.55 per gallon, the Belize Bus Association is calling on the government to step in before they're forced to park their buses. They held a press conference today where the president explained that they've written to Minister Louis Zabané with 3 requests.
We have wrote the Department of Transport and the minister asking for three assistance. One being remove the GST from the fuel for all bus operators, remove the tax from parts or battery. The second request was we can reinstate the subsidy that was initiated in the time of COVID. Or 3, adjustment and raise in increase of fares in fuel. So we just wrote the minister yesterday, so we'll give him time to respond to us. And from there, I will meet with my executive and the members, and then we will plan our next course of action.
The crisis in fuel prices, we understand. But it has to be a responsibility that has to be solved, not with sugarcoating. Just like when COVID came in as an epidemic, and the bus operators were allowed to have subsistence to be able to continue the operation, this is what is necessary now. And this is what is most important for all industries that are serving the general public, especially the low-income public, the low-income citizen that takes a bus. At the present moment, this fuel price is in reality a crisis for independent bus operators, school bus operators, the individual bus operators that have independent operation, not with the new one that is formed, but this one. All we ask for is a fair playing level field.
They're asking for the same perks that the National Bus Company will receive, but also a better structure in place to incentivize the independent owners.
For a structure to be in place, there has to be proper incentives and laws so that the bus companies can be productive. Proper incentives in loans, 0 rated or very low rated, or guarantees from our institution, from our governments. How can you go to the bank and say, I have a 1-year permit and I want $500,000 or $250,000 to buy good equipment? They laugh at you because you don't even have the time frame to be able to pay for it. The structure has to do, 1, with long-term permits. It has to do with finance, development concessions given to the association, whereby we can get better incentives in taxes and whereby the buses, then we can bring them in new.
And if the government doesn't agree to the first 2 options, but allows the independent bus owners to raise their fares, what will those new prices look like?
We were negotiating with the government prior to this, former minister, and prior to this, we were looking for $2 a long drop and $1 for short drop. So in other words, if short drop would have been $2, it would have been $3 now. And if a long drop to Belmopan would have been 7 or 8, it would have been 9 or 10 now. So if that answers your question.
That's a significant increase for the commuter.
That is, hence the reason that we need to meet with the Department of Transport, and we go through everything, and then we come up with a standard figure. So it will be premature to say that at this moment, but that is what we're looking at more or less, depending if the fuel is between $12 and $13.
And there's indication that the fuel might go
And if the fuel go up over exceeding $15 or $14, then it will be double that amount.
But now the question remains, should the government lend a hand to their competitors? When you choose to be independent, you're kind of saying to the government, I will handle my own candle. So what obligation does the government have to help you out? They did help you out. They stepped in and said, we want to take this burden off your shoulders by creating the National Bus Company. And you could invest how you want, invest if you want, give up all your shares, if you want to give up your entire company or just put in some in the shares, whatever. They stepped in and they said, this is what we're doing. So why should they be obligated to do even more to level a playing field when now they're in the running? The National Bus Company is their horse in the race.
That question is pretty much disingenuous. Why it is disingenuous is because the National Bus Company has government subsidy, will have government subsidy.
Right, because it's a government company. You guys are independent.
No. They said they're making a PPP. And being a PPP means that you are accountable to your shareholders. So it means you have to produce a profit. So it is not true that they will say, well, they're taking a burden from you. They're not. What they're trying to do is modernize the system, which we agree with modernizing the system. So what we're requesting then is to make certain that the same benefits others have, which is other owners who are PPP, is also given to the individual.
And the BBA believes the government will provide the assistance they're asking for.
We are at the belief that the Minister of Transport, in good judgment, would want to meet one of those three requests that we had made, to the simple fact that no operator or bus owner can remain in business with the high cost of fuel. At the moment, we have been operating at bare minimum.
The BBA say they are giving the minister the weekend to respond. Courtney Menzies, 7 News.
We did try to get the Transport Minister, Louis Zavani, for a comment, but he has not responded. We'll see what the bus operators do next. When the Caribbean Court of Justice ruled in November that former BTL workers are entitled to severance pay, in addition to pension benefits, provided that they met the continuous service requirement of at least 10 years, what it caused a ripple effect across the labor sector. That triggered former pensionable BTL employees who were not a part of the suit to demand their severance payments, and the company agreed that they were entitled to it. Now, BEL's former employees from the Energy Workers Union are also asking, where is my severance? Well, they held a press conference today to air their grievances because they saying that their former employee is dragging its foot. Here's some of what they said at today's press conference, which was held at the Inspiration Center.
Today we stand before you as former employees of Belize Electricity Limited, workers who gave years of service to this country and to BEL. We are here because we believe our legal rights, specifically our severance entitlements, have not been honored. The issue, short and clear, at the center of the issue is a fundamental legal principle. Severance and pensions are separate entitlements under the Labor Act. However, BEL implemented arrangements where pension contributions were treated as being in lieu of severance without clear accounting or transparency. With reference to legal basis, in November 2025, the Caribbean Court of Justice ruled in a similar matter that severance must be paid as a separate statutory right. Pension contributions cannot replace severance. Employers must be able to clearly account for what is severance versus pension.
Not getting my severance put some pressure on me and my family. I am the breadwinner for my family, still a breadwinner of my family. I am begging, and I start with a new CEO. Effective tomorrow, we have a new chairman of the board. I'm asking these people to please get some consideration on myself and other employees. I sit around this table with pain and suffering. I'm begging you to do workers right.
We can tell you so far that we have over 150 members who have come forward and are seeking redress to this matter. I can tell you in numbers. In terms of money, I can't say that at this point, but it's a considerable sum of money. Because we are talking workers going way before this pension plan. You have workers who left this company in the 70s, in the 80s, all the way up. You have workers who left this company who resigned, did not get a dime neither for severance, no pension, because when you resign from BEL before the pension plan, all you get is any vacation owed and 2 weeks pay. So you can see where people will be lined up because those people didn't get anything. Those are people who maybe they didn't go all the way to retirement. They just resigned. They want to do other things with their lives. They left the company, but may have worked 10, 15 years, 20. Didn't get anything. We are hoping that they will be honorable and come forward with a response. But until then, we sit and we go to the table and we will plan other actions and continue to agitate to get our payment.
The committee has written to BEL, which has told them it will have a response by April 20th. But today, BEL issued a release stating, quote, "We initiated a comprehensive review of BEL's severance and pension arrangements to ensure that all claims are considered fairly and thoroughly. Our review extends as far back as 1988 without prejudice to any position regarding limitation period, recognizing that some of the separations in question occurred more than 25 years ago. Our review confirms that over the years, BEL has paid severance to its employees on their departure as required under the law. Furthermore, since 2007, the company has explicitly accounted for severance under its pension plan in accordance with the law." We'll take our first break now, and when we come back, the city's Holy Week concert series starts tonight. It's costing hundreds of thousands of dollars, but should the city's funds be used to on the right of free religious concert? Well, we asked the mayor today. Don't go away.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
Development is not something that can be achieved only by the government or only by the community. It is always a partnership. It's always a partnership. Government, our development partners, the community, Belizeans, all working together, united for one common purpose. And what is that one common purpose? To build a good country, a better country, where all Belizeans will have an equal opportunity.
Today's handover is more than an infrastructure project. It is a demonstration of our promise, a commitment to the well-being of your children and to the future of your community.
One of the things that we have been supporting at the national level is something called the Multidimensional Poverty Index. What that shows is that we look at poverty and deprivation not only as a matter of lack of income, but if you don't have access to housing, safe housing, or access to education, or access to water, is also some of those things that are measured, so you get a more complete picture of what needs to be addressed.
It's not fair that children, because they live in rural Toledo, don't have the opportunity to see those things, touch those things, use those things, simply because you live in a small village way to the back. That is not the kind of society we want in Belize. We want one where every child has the same opportunity. Every child drinks the same clean water. Every child has the same opportunity to education, same access to computer technology and everything that comes along with that. And that's what we want.
The Feinsteins built the tourism village, brought cruise tourism to Belize, helped build this industry from the ground up, and created thousands of jobs. And when Belize needed a deep water cruise port, the Feinsteins went on to develop Stake Bank Island, a Belizean family investing in Belize and building for Belizeans. But instead of supporting Belizeans, this government chose to undermine the project.
The government has colluded with a bank to seize from a private owner.
No, the state is stealing his land.
There was some collusion going on, that there was some inappropriate activity even in the judicial process, and that there were players involved who have strong political capital because they're either currently serving in office, formerly served in really high levels of office, who are deeply involved with this.
They said it was for a public purpose.
But they're acquiring it for a private company.
So this government took away the Feinsteins' land, took away their project, gave it to a private company. And now this same government is building another cruise port at the port of Belize. So what was the public purpose of taking Stake Bank? And now the Foreign Affairs Minister is upset that America is paying attention. No, Francis. This is on the PUP. It's no longer just local politics. Washington is watching. It's not going unnoticed.
And could lead to sanctions, right? OFAC sanctions, which would be devastating.
My name is Mrs. Esther Smith. I'm a co-owner of A Glimpse of Paradise gift shop here at Altoona, booth number 13. And me and my husband have to offer some of the most finest wood products here in Belize, all hand done by him. And these products are made from some of the most beautiful, finest and hardest wood here in our country. I first started at Atlantic Bank as, went there to start a saving account. From there, I have my checking account with the POS machine. And then it becomes more like a family to me because there are personnel from Atlantic Bank that will always come here, check with us, make sure everything is okay, clean our machine, and they will always ensure that we have bundles. My advice to anybody that wants to choose Atlantic Bank to be their bank is that don't be afraid. You won't have any regret. Atlantic Bank, you will find them to be very efficient, reliable, and competent.
A Town Called Freedom and Mars Production present an event you can't afford to miss.
It's the Belize Music World Festival, Saturday, April 25th, 2026.
At the spacious Marion Jones Stadium. This annual event is geared to give you the very best in music, food, and artistry.
The Belize Music World Festival.
Headlines with two of Reggae World's very best performers. The one and only Mr. Singy himself.
Taurus Riley.
With the very first time in Belize, Reggae Prince of Reggae Royal Family,
Skip Marley.
I just wanna be close to you. With his band and momentous event is Pen Cayetano with his band and Jay Cass with his band. Yes, Belize, it's a full-on band show. Also backing up this show is DJ Jago, DJ Console, DJ Cad, DJ Smurf, and Clark, and Rasen Jaro. Firestarter Sound. It's all hosted by DJ Nala. So mark the date and don't be late. April 25th. Gates open at 7 for showtime at 8 at the Marion Jones Stadium. Ticket prices on bleachers, $41. General admission, $61. VIP, $151. For Ultra Boost, $2,500. Also available, cocktail tables for VIP area only. Sponsors are A Town Called Freedom, Mars Production, Monisco, Pelican, Travelers Liquor, BTB, Niche, Channel 5, Channel 7, Love FM, and Love TV, Trim Radio and TV, and Cellular World.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
There are growing concerns tonight for a Belmopan woman who hasn't been seen since last Friday. 28-year-old Deborah Authors, a resident of Belmopan City, who was last seen on Friday, March 27th at 1 p.m. in front of La Popular Bakery entering a silver Chevy Equinox. Reports say the call center employee and mother of one has not answered her phone or shown up at work. In just 3 weeks, Belize City traffic is set for a major upheaval. April 20th marks the simultaneous start of two massive 3-year projects, the replacement of both the Belcon and Swing bridges. The Belcon project will span 34 months, involving a temporary bypass and full demolition before the new structure opens in early 2029. Meanwhile, the Swing Bridge replacement begins with a 7-month temporary bridge construction, followed by demolition in October. Work on the construction of the replacement will start after that in February of 2027, and the new Swing Bridge isn't expected to be fully operational until February 2029. It is an unprecedented double blow to city mobility, and Mayor Bernard Wagner admits the road ahead will be painful for residents.
It will take a lot of sacrifice, I must say, a lot of pain, a lot of disruption. I'll be real, it will be a lot of disruption for residents, and they will have to really embrace it, because at the end of the day, we'll have 2 new bridges in the city. We'll have a beautiful stretch of road from the Pongyard Bridge leading out of the city. That drives development, that drives economic activity, and we are so happy to be able to at least participate in those 3 projects.
And as you may recall, the management for the Belcon Bridge project was taken from the Belize City Council and given back to MIDH. When we asked the mayor how he feels to have lost control of a history project valued in the tens of millions of dollars, he said, they're team players.
And so you have publicized and discussed the plans for Belcon Bridge. It is being executed by MIDH. Do you feel that the city was done a low with the project by having it being taken away?
No, not at all. We are a team player, and we believe that we are an agency of national government, and if we were asked to participate in a project within our city, we are a willing partner, and we are a willing partner now that MIDH is leading that project, and we wish a quick replacement of those 2 bridges, which will enhance the city, and that is our number 1 goal. We want to see enhancement, we want to see improvement in our city.
And the city is in the middle of its own large and vexing project. That is the replacement of drain and manhole covers across the city, scores of them. But as they fix them, they are broken. The mayor says that they are looking at measures to enforce against the drivers that disregard the laws and drive on sidewalks, causing the manholes to break.
Manhole is an ongoing challenge for the city, because as we repair and we put in, we have these motorists, especially on the Freetown Road, right in front of this Lychee restaurant. They drive on the sidewalk, Listen, manholes and covers are not made to withstand the weight of vehicles. It is made to withstand the weight of pedestrians walking. And when we have motorists totally don't care at all about what the city is spending, it costs the city. It not only costs the city in repairing and replacing, but it costs the city in litigation. We have faced significant rise in litigation costs for people having damages due to manhole, and so we continue to work. It's a work in progress. It's a work in really educating the residents, the motorists that listen, don't drive on the manhole covers because it continues to cost the city. And we just have to continue to press on. Of course, we'll have to look at how we begin to enforce those motorists who continue to disregard the law.
The city also has plans for the installation of more traffic lights at Cemetery Road and Magazine Road, Western Avenue and George Price Highway, and right here beside us at the corner of Albert and Dean Street. Today we asked the mayor, what's the plan?
We don't believe in working harder but smarter, having traffic lights to really reduce accidents. The Magazine Road is is one of our key priority areas as we begin the construction of those two other bridges and the rehabilitation of the highway. It is important that we have traffic management in a smart way at the Magazine Road area onto Cemetery Road as well as Western Avenue. But those two traffic light system has to be collaborated with the Ministry of Infrastructure, given that they are the custodian of that stretch of road. And so we are working very closely with them to have those traffic lights coordinated with that authority. In respect to the Albert Street and Dean Street, you are right there and you see the amount of accidents happening there. We are here as a responsible city council to ensure safety of our residents, safety of pedestrians, safety of motorists.
The chief engineer informed us that he was not made aware of the proposed traffic light locations. He explained that the proposed lights at the intersection of Western Avenue and George Price Highway cannot be accommodated at this location as there is an ongoing project for that highway which does not include provisions for traffic signals. Well, we caught up with the mayor at the launch for the Belize City Council's Holy Week concert series. Well, it begins tonight with international gospel artists Sinach and Christofari. Jaleesa Roberts attended today's press conference and has this report.
Tonight, Belize City will be having the first night of the two-day Holy Week Revival concert under the theme Reflect, Revive, Renew. The Belize City Council will be hosting it for a second time after its first one in 2023. Tonight, they will have international band Christofari, known for their famous reggae renditions of gospel music, and they too will have acclaimed Nigerian singer Sinach. At today's press conference, Mayor Bernard Wagner explained what the intention behind the event is.
Trying to create a space where we can drive these family values, spirituality, of course, grace and understanding that it's about community, community enrichment. We want to welcome all denominations to this event, which will really cater to your soul, culturally, educationally, spiritually, and all the other areas. So it's an event that really captures the spirit of the season.
And Church Senator Louis Wade said that the concert of 2023 was the largest Christian event he had seen in the history of Belize. Wade, who has seen numerous concerts, said that this will contribute to the, quote, foundation of Belize.
That event also garnered more attendees than any secular event, any secular concert, national artist. And the people came to worship. The people came. Our Constitution begins by saying that this nation shall be established upon principles that acknowledge the supremacy of God. And so if we don't strengthen the foundation, like that sentence is the foundation. And so what the Belize City Council is doing through its mayor and its councillors and the support that the government is giving is to strengthen the foundation. Now you can build anything once your foundation is strong. What we have here for tonight and tomorrow night is the world's best. And just as the last time, I believe the turnout is going to be even bigger. It's not promoting any specific church or denomination. This is it is promoting our culture, which is a Christian culture. You know, if I talk about Judas Kiss, everybody know what they talk about, and they will have to continue. So there are certain languages that are really a part of our heart culture, and I think it's well represented in these two nights.
Members of Christafari and Sinach were present at the press conference and said that the moment of worship is expected to be impactful as they return for another performance in Belize.
It's great to be done. I remember the first time we came, it was amazing. The turnout was amazing. I think impactful, beautiful. We had a lot of testimonies and feedback. It was so beautiful to just see the Lord touching people. It was beautiful.
Again, it's just a privilege to be here because we consider ourselves as musical missionaries, and so it's not so much us being booked somewhere to perform, it's a chance that we get to come serve the vision that you guys have for the country and the city and the people.
Lisa Roberts, 7 News.
The concert started at 6 and will be ending at 9. And well, the world-class gospel entertainment is coming at quite the pretty penny. In 2023, that is, the budget was registered at $216,000. This year, it has increased by $20,000. Belize City Mayor Bernard Wagner says while the Holy Week's two-day revival concert's total budget is about $236,000, partnerships with businesses helped raise roughly $100,000, leaving the city to cover the remaining $136,000. We asked him if that's justified with public funds.
When we look at the entire budget, it will be about $236,000. But what we did this year, we felt that it was important to do some level of partnership with the business community and the corporate Belize, and we have been able to do that, where we have been able to raise approximately $100,000 from our business community or corporate community, and that in a sort of sense really bridge that financing gap, and so the city only will be injecting $136,000 to this project.
Or would you say that it's right that you're injecting city funds into a religious event?
Of course. This is running a city is not just only about physical infrastructure. You have to invest in people, and we believe that this is a good investment. Investing in the social well-being of our residents in the city, and so we feel that it is justifiable.
And so, based on 2023, what are some challenges that you guys saw? You noticed that the second time when you do it, the first time, of course, you would iron it out. But what are some challenges you guys came across that you noticed the first time around?
The main thing is the funding part, and we wanted to have the collaboration with the business community. Last time we were able to foot the entire bill of $216,000. This year, we are only funding $136,000, and that was a key area that we wanted to collaborate with the business community, and business community came out in full support of us. That is showing that the business community have confidence in this activity. The corporate Belize have confidence in the city council. If they felt that this city council isn't doing what they are supposed to do, they would not have been able to inject $100,000 into this project.
Police are investigating a home invasion that occurred in Ladyville last night at the home of an elderly American couple. A 73-year-old retiree was at home with his wife just after 8:30 when 3 male persons barged into their home, and one of them threatened the couple with a firearm. The assailants then proceeded to rob the couple of their belongings, which included a Rolex watch valued at $20,000, 2 sets of vehicle keys, 2 sets of property keys, an iPhone 16, and an assortment of jewelry. The couple is reported to have sustained minor injuries, and police managed to recover the iPhone 16. No arrests have been made as yet. A teenager is in critical condition after he was knocked down off his bicycle by a motorcyclist. He's 18-year-old Romaldo Salam of Belmopan. Police received reports of an RTA near Constitution Drive in Belmopan on Monday. And when they arrived at the scene, they saw a 125cc Melium motorcycle and a 24-inch bicycle on the edge of the road. They also met Salam with multiple injuries to his body and 26-year-old Jerry Alexander Shaw, the driver of the motorcycle, who was also injured. Both men were transported to the Western Regional Hospital for treatment, but Salam had to be rushed to the KHMH due to the seriousness of his injuries. Salam remains in a critical condition. A 46-year-old police officer has been charged for incest after he allegedly had intercourse with his niece. When police arrived on the scene at Coney Drive on Sunday evening, they found the 14-year-old girl's family members throwing objects at the cop. Police intervened, and the girl reported that on Friday, March 27th, around 10 at night, her uncle had sex with her against her will. A medical examination was later conducted, and the uncle was charged today. We'll take a second break now. When we come back, we'll take you to an event called Catalyze Rural Women Entrepreneurs. Don't go away.
This newscast is brought to you by Cellular World, your authorized Samsung distributor.
En Atlantic Bank, tu comodidad es nuestra prioridad. Nuestro centro de contacto está diseñado para mejorar tu experiencia bancaria. Con una amplia gama de opciones de servicio al cliente, ahorras tiempo y esfuerzo. Puedes llamar fácilmente para bloquear o desbloquear tus tarjetas de débito y crédito, realizar consultas de cuentas y acceder a información detallada de tus tarjetas. Ya sea que necesites asistencia con la banca en línea, apoyo para comercios o consultas generales, nuestro equipo está listo para ayudarte. Para mayor comodidad, si todos los operadores están ocupados, puedes dejar tu número y un operador te devolverá la llamada lo antes posible para asegurarse de que recibas el apoyo que necesitas. Para mayor seguridad, es posible que necesitemos verificar tu identidad con un conjunto de preguntas sencillas. Recuerda, Atlantic Bank nunca solicitará tu nombre de tu usuario ni contraseña de Atlantic Online por llamada telefónica, mensaje de texto o correo electrónico, asegurando que tu información personal permanezca segura y protegida. Nuestro equipo de apoyo está disponible de lunes a viernes, de 8 a.m. a 6 p.m., en inglés y en español. Simplemente marca al 223-1212. Esta es la línea dedicada para nuestro centro de contacto. Atlantic Bank se compromete a brindarte un servicio excepcional y las herramientas que necesitas para administrar tus finanzas de manera conveniente y segura. Aprovecha al máximo nuestro servicio del centro de contacto.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
When the job calls, you need a truck that works as hard as you do. Strong, reliable, and built for the load. The Jack Freight Truck gets the job done. From the lumberyard to the work site, power your business with confidence. I can count on Jack to get the job done right.
The Feinsteins built the tourism village, brought cruise tourism to Belize, helped build this industry from the ground up, and created thousands of jobs. And when Belize needed a deep water cruise port, the Feinsteins went on to develop Stake Bank Island, a Belizean family investing in Belize and building for Belizeans. But instead of supporting Belizeans, this government chose to undermine the project.
The government has colluded with a bank to seize from a private owner.
No, the state is stealing his land.
There was some collusion going on, that there was some inappropriate activity even in the judicial process, and that there were players involved who have strong political capital because they're either currently serving in office, formerly served at really high levels of office, who are deeply involved with this.
They said it was for a public purpose.
But they're acquiring it for a private company.
So this government took away the Feinstein's land, took away their project, gave it to a private company. And now this same government is building another cruise port at the port of Belize. So what was the public purpose of taking Stake Bank? And now the Foreign Affairs Minister is upset that America is paying attention. No, Francis. This is on the PUP. It's no longer just local politics. Washington is watching. It's not going unnoticed.
And could lead to sanctions, right? OFAC sanctions, which would be devastating.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
NIME Belize, which stands for the International Network of Women in Business, has undertaken a project called Catalyze Her, offering mentorship, financial support, and growth for 250 female entrepreneurs in Belize. Registration is now open, and we stopped in at the project launch today to find out more. Jo Marie Lanza reports.
For women with a business idea but no clear starting point, NIME's Catalyze Her project offers the guidance needed to get moving. The project was officially launched today, and their president told us about the opportunity this represents for women entrepreneurs everywhere.
So first of all, the International Network of Women in Business, NIME Belize, is a nonprofit entrepreneur support organization. We provide the tools, resources, networking, and opportunities for women in business to succeed in business and to build sustainable businesses that can contribute to the social and economic development of Belize. Today, we are happy to launch the Catalyze Her project. This is a strategic partnership between NIME Belize and the IDB Lab, a 3-year project that will benefit about 250 women across Belize, focusing on rural areas. The call is open to NIME membership, of course, but it's also open to all women in business in Belize. It could be women that have an idea, that are in different stages of their project. It could be developing business or a maturing business as well. The project has three different components: an incubation component, a mentorship component, and an access to seed capital component at the end of the completion of the first two components.
Their project coordinator walked us through those components. She says that there are numerous resources participants will have access to through training.
Through this project, there is three components to the project. The first component is a learning management systems component, where incubator and accelerator programs are going to be offered to women entrepreneurs at all stages of development, from early and ideation stage all the way through to established MSMEs who are experiencing challenges in growth and innovation. So it's a project that's very comprehensive. Even if you just have an idea that you want to start a business, you will be able to enroll in the training programs. We also have face-to-face workshops that we're going to be doing in all areas of Belize, especially in rural areas. There is a heavy mentoring component as well. So each participant will have access to a mentor to help that person in whatever area that person needs, and a strong networking component as well, where there's going to be access to resources, industry experts, and potential investors.
And at times, investing can seem intimidating to entrepreneurs and small business owners. NIME's co-founder and secretary, Dr. Minerva Pinello, says that they hope they will be able to help these women to overcome that fear through mentorship and guidance.
We still have a lot of work to get to. For example, a lot of our women are still fearful of looking at loans to grow their businesses. You know, what does the language mean? How am I going to pay? What am I going to have to put up? And assets is another question. We found out that many of our women, culturally at times, are not the ones who will inherit land or will inherit assets to put up for loans. And so that becomes more of a challenge of how to access finance. So the project today that is being launched was designed with a team behind the scenes over the last year, and it has three main components: from training to mentoring to seed capital or finance. And I think the mentoring is the one that will help us to get people to complete all the training requirement and to work on their business plans.
Jo Marilanza, 7 News.
IDB is providing funding of $400,000 towards the project. The Women of Belize's Security Forces bookended Women's Month. That should be ended Women's Month on March 1st. They paraded proudly through Belize City. Today they did so through the capital. This morning's march in Belmopan was the culmination event for a Women's Month that saw a number of activities for the women in uniform. Commissioner of Police Richard Rosado spoke about those events.
I believe today is the culmination represent unity. It represents that we can work together to collaborate and make the event a success. Today we have approximately just over 500 women from all the security forces. The activities for the women consist of leadership training, wellness training. It consists of community work. It consists of mental health workshops. So it consists of a variety of activities to celebrate the Women's Month and to help them develop to become stronger women within the department.
And police will have to show strength throughout the Easter, securing social spaces where Easter goers congregate. The Compo said citizens can expect a ramping up of security.
There's a number of activities that will be hosted across the country, across the different municipalities. And so we have all those activities that are being policed by our police officers. We have a number of VCPs that are being done in coordination with National Transport and the traffic warden during peak times. We also have the Coast Guard and the BDF assisting us in doing maritime patrols in key areas.
Moving on to other subjects, when it comes to the PM's casual proposal of a prisoner swap for Joseph Budna, the Compo says that one is above his pay grade.
Well, prisoner swap is a matter for the the state policymaker. That's extend beyond my operational responsibility.
The foreign minister has said plainly that there is no mechanism with Guatemala for a prisoner swap. And going back to last week's presentation of the latest economic figures by the Statistical Institute of Belize, they noted that food prices in the month of February went up, but at that time fuel prices were lower than 2025. So overall inflation was less than 1%.
The food and non-alcoholic beverage category, with prices increasing by 1.2%. This was mainly due to the rise in several food products such as meats, cereal products, and sugar, along with non-alcoholic beverages such as coffee, purified water, and soft drinks. The restaurant and accommodation services category saw prices increasing by 2.3%. This was mainly due to higher costs for food and beverage serving services, which went up by 1.8%. Accommodation services also went up by 9.5%. The transport category decreased by 3.6%, helping to offset increases observed during this period. The average price for fuel from January to February 2026 was lower than the same period in 2025, which regular fuel was down by 8% per gallon, premium by 7.2%, and diesel by 2.9%.
Of course, since then, fuel prices have shot up, so we'll see what the next set of figures will be looking like. But in February, Orange Walk showed the lowest rate of inflation.
We can observe that Punta Gorda town experienced the highest year-to-date inflation rate of 2.4%. Consumers in this municipality experienced higher prices for food and non-alcoholic beverages, restaurants and accommodation services, and clothing and footwear. On the other hand, Orange Walk town experienced the lowest year-to-date inflation rate at negative 0.9%. Consumers in this municipality experienced modest increases for items such as food, non-alcoholic beverages, health, and restaurants and cafe services.
And regionally, how does Belize fare against neighboring countries for inflation? Well, here's a snapshot.
We can observe that Costa Rica recorded the lowest year-to-date inflation rate at negative 2.6%, while Dominican Republic recorded the highest inflation rate at 4.8%. Comparing Belize with the selected countries, Belize recorded a low year-to-date inflation rate of 0.4%, indicating relatively stable prices as it is lower than most of the other countries.
And that's all we have for you for our newscast tonight. Thanks for watching. With your news, I'm Indira Craig. Remember, you can find a full transcript of the news at 7newsbelize.com and see this streaming video on our Facebook page. Have a great night. Join me back here tomorrow at 6.